Hello, students. Again, this week we discuss critical theory and gender theory. I know it's a lot of, theories and theory after theory. I know you might have overwhelmed with a lot of theories, and you might wonder these theories have nothing to do with, public relations writing or business technical writing. But again, this theory is very important to help you understand the world, even help you understand the writing and how writing makes meaning. It also helps you think of your audiences who are born and raised in different cultural and socio-economic milieu. Okay, their perception is different, their understanding is different. So if you have a grasp of that, perhaps as a public relation writer, you think of your writing and how to make it more persuasive and meaningful. Okay, so that way theory is very, very important. So hope that makes some sense. So this week we talk about critical theory and gender theory, and it's a lot of, you can never finish talking about critical theory and gender theory. There's a lot more to talk about, but we just would like to know basic, knowledge of what critical theory is and what gender theory is, some basic knowledge on that. So critical theory was established as a school of thought by the Frankfurt School theoreticians, and they are Herbert Marcuse, Theodor Adorno, Walter Benjamin, Max Horkheimer, and and this critical theory was first defined by Max Horkheimer of the Frankfurt School of Sociology in 1937 in his essay Traditional and Critical Theory. So what is critical theory then? So critical theory basically critiques, the social and cultural understanding of the world and how social and cultural practices have differently, put people under pressure or suppress people or marginalize people, how those social and cultural, the practices and exercise have, suppressed and oppressed people and have made them marginalized, okay, and have marginalized them. So that is what with the help of this critical theory lens. And it also help you to challenge the power structure and how those social and cultural assumptions or the social structure cause problems. That is what you will be able to explore. And again, critical theory especially looks for people's emancipation or freedom. It wants to liberate human beings from the circumstances and how from that social bondage. And it also draws on, basically this critical theory draws on the ideas of Karl Marx and Sigmund Freud. You see, when we talk about Karl Marx, how the material world or how the social structure or the define your or shape or determine your consciousness, and it enslave you until or unless you want to challenge that, until or unless you challenge that. So Sigmund Freud also talks about the unconsciousness of mind and how that enslave us as well. So knowing yourself and using your consciousness and challenging the social structure is what is basically an idea of critical theory. And also, when we talk about Kant, critical theory, we also like to know about Kant's, the idea of phenomena, which means what appears, and noumena, which means how we perceive, and Marx and Freud's unconscious mind, and it's all about power of reason to unmask all these things. Okay, so critical theory is a kind of sort of lens which help you understand, how society and social structure has enslaved people and marginalized people. So this is one of the theory that I used when I wrote my book. This book, the sex, gender, and disability in Nepal. In this book, I use critical theory and post-colonialism to look at the marginalized lives of women with disabilities and how society and social and cultural, the milieu or the practices have marginalized those women with disabilities. And I looked at their writings, their the biographical, autobiographical writings, their poetry, and I have analyzed using this critical theory to discuss how they have emancipated from that enslavement, and then how society tries to marginalize them. So this is very helpful, okay? And then this definitely give way for a clear understanding of gender and feminist theories. So critical theory really help you understand gender and feminist theory as well. So going back to gender theories, Simone de Beauvoir is one of the person to know more about gender theories. He wrote a book, The Second Sex, which was published in 1953. The book, the most famous assertion is one is not born but rather becomes woman. So, but that also become a very controversial statement later. Women are considered as others. They are the second sex. That idea always, put women behind and always marginalizes women. And then how the patriarchal institutions, make women the second sex. These are some of the things which have been discussed in the second sex as well. And talking about gender theory, we cannot help talking about Judith Butler's book, Gender Trouble, that focuses on the idea of gender performance, which means gender is not something one is, but rather something one does or performs. And society, is very kind of creating a binary opposition, because and also deconstructionism really help you understand at that time, which I will come back to later. So the man is man because he's man, that's how we understand. But when we need to understand a woman, then a woman is not a man, that's why she's a woman. So look at that, the discriminatory understanding of gender as well. So women job or a woman's role is to look after children's and husband and take care of the family, be inside the kitchen. That's how we define what it means to be like a woman, okay? But that's not how man is defined. So that's how the performative activity, because they bear children and things like that. So that's how the society, this is a social construction, is really an important thing to have a better understanding of gender practices in society. So that is what she calls gender performance. Again, she says gender identity is a byproduct of repeated gender performance. And again, this gender performance legitimizes natural gender binary, and we don't try to question it, and we let it go like this. The role of women in our society, we take it as a natural thing for them to do, and we do not bother with questioning it. Okay, and that is how the practices is legitimatized. And again, we need to question this cultural and social construct. That's what the idea of critical theory as well. Until or unless we do not question this cultural and social construct that marginalize women, we can never see the change, the societal change. Okay, we cannot change our society. That is what all about gender theory. Again, there are a lot of videos I have posted to your Georgia View. You have a gender theory crash course and all the readings. Please go back to them and then read them. You will definitely have a wonderful understanding of critical theory and gender theory. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, just an overview again. And going back to the assignment this week, you have a discussion question regarding critical theory. You'll just answer your questions. What do you think? What do you mean by critical theory? What is your understanding of critical theory? Again, it doesn't have to have a specific one right mathematical answer. If you back it up, you answer with some of the quotations, then you'll be absolutely fine. Again, gender theory, you have a discussion question here. You answer the questions, and again, you have the deconstruction analysis paper. Here you will choose a text or a paragraph from further readings or outside. It's totally up to you. And then you apply deconstructionism theory and explain it. We already have discussed deconstructionism earlier. And also you have an example how to read a text using deconstructionism theory. So just read that first and you'll have an understanding, an idea, and then find a text or a paragraph and apply deconstructionism theory and analyze it, in 500 words at least. Okay, so that's it. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and take care. Bye-bye.